and obnoxious. You're loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, but that comes with like being Cuban. Only difference is I'm a purebred. Sorry, you're not.
Purebred.
Purebred.
I'm a mudblood.
Yeah, you are. Filthy muggle.
That is a millennial.
Muggle term? Yeah.
Talking about Harry Potter.
I'm pretty sure everybody is super deep. It's still in Harry Potter, so.
Yeah, but it started with us. So, this is our first full episode.
Yeah.
And more specifically, I would call this a test, but I'm fairly confident this is going to be like the first fledged episode, because when I thought to myself, who would be a great like guest or co-host or somebody else to just talk generational stuff, you were the first person that came to mind.
Because I just don't shut up.
Because you can talk.
Yeah.
We could, if we talked with just one subject, you can drag that out for a whole episode.
Yeah.
And then I would just walk away and you'd still be talking. I'd come back and that's that.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So let's do formalities first, and then we're just going to kind of jump into it. This is the Millennial Mindset podcast show, or whatever you want to call it. But basically, it's a show. I call it a show because I don't want it just to be a podcast. We are recording it, and this will be posted on YouTube and on the main pages,
The tubes of you.
Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. But this is a show that pretty much talks about us.
Oh, God.
Specifically, so I had the idea of creating this show because we get a bad rep. People like, oh, you millennials. Yeah. I heard that a lot in the workforce.
100%.
Oh, you millennials this, you millennials that. And it's like...
I'm one of those people.
So I'm taking this terminology, seemed to be like a bad word, and I'm owning it. I'm turning it into a good thing. And I'm like, yeah, we are millennials because we're the most prominent generation in the workforce, and we are the most diverse. We're diverse in like culture, finance, beliefs,
I can agree with that.
work, hell, gender now.
Oh,
like,
geez.
that's all us.
So much, all encompassing.
So I figured I created the show because I wanted to like break the stigma of like the word millennial and be more like, yeah, we're the most prominent generation right now in society. So we're going to go over, as a whole entire thing, we go over our strengths, our weaknesses, misconceptions, our stereotypes, everything. And then maybe even own it, you know?
I'm pretty sure millennial is a stereotype now.
Yeah, but there's different ones, right? So there's millennials that are, when people think of millennial, they think like, well, I have a version in my head what a millennial is, like a tie-dyed hair, head shaved on the side, Bernie Sanders,
Are you
they,
sure it was
them
Bernie
pronoun.
Sanders? Because it was definitely Hillary Clinton for a while. So that was a.
But then you got other people like the Ben Shapiro's and everything, like the conservatives.
Yeah.
And he's a millennial. There's a wide spectrum.
Yeah.
And so I think that's interesting, and I want to like dive into all these subjects and all these topics because I want to explore our mentality a lot more. Hence why mindset, because I don't think there's a single specific stereotype. There's some people that like to tease us about it, but then, I mean, I think there's more millionaires. I think there's more impactful. Like you look at the Mark Zuckerbergs and you look at like, all that millennials. So, I mean, I think we have a bigger impact in society than the baby boomers or the Gen X's, and not the Gen Z, the post-millennial. I don't know what
is it like Gen Y or Gen Z or
no, we're Gen Y.
Is that what it is?
We're Gen Y.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't understand anymore.
Yeah.
So much.
So, with that all being said, introduce yourself to people.
Oh, okay.
Who are you?
I'm Heather Perez. I am a millennial, 29 years old, born in 1990. What up, 90s babies?
What up? 1990?
1990.
Woo!
I know, bro. We're like in the same month.
We are. We're just we're 23
4 days.
23 days.
23 days? 23 days apart. There
Apart.
You go.
Yeah.
You're 23 days older than me. Youth. It's all over my face.
So that means we are 29.
Yeah, I know.
This is the last time we're in our 20s.
I know. I literally kept telling my mom, like, I'm pushing 30, which means you're going to be 50. Congratulations. Have your midlife. She gets her midlife. I had my quarter life, so we're good.
They say there's some, so millennials are a spectrum from 81 to 96. So there's people who are in our generation who are already in their 30s.
Yeah.
And I'd say that they're crushing it, but
That's,
Maybe they're not.
Yeah.
Some people. Hey, that's the thing. I know some,
I know that some are great.
and then some people are still living at home.
Horrible. There's yeah. I know some people like that, and it's actually really sad.
I know, but we
aren't. We're independent. We're on our own 2 feet.
Well, our stigmas for our own even backgrounds. We're too stubborn to want to be at home to prove a point.
Yeah.
We don't like labels. Millennial.
Oh goodness. Is that what you're gonna do throughout the entire thing?
Millennial. I don't like labels. Are we boyfriend and girlfriend? I don't like labels. That's a fuckboy though.
That really is. I hate those people. I'm sorry, but like maybe I'm anti-millennial in the sense that like I don't dislike labels. I think it's more so when you label something that it can't go outside a certain boundary. That's when I think there's a problem. I don't necessarily think a label like changes something, especially like in a relationship. I don't think that being called boyfriend or girlfriend or like, you know, if you're engaged, fiance, you know, like any of that stuff actually makes a difference other than the level of, I guess, importance in that person's life.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not just your friend, you know, like I'm your girlfriend. I'm not just your, you know,
fiance.
Yeah, I'm not your. Yeah, I'm gonna be married to you. Like I matter more. I should be at least a little bit.
Do you think
higher
people
in tier.
should say the word fiance or bae? Or bae, I guess is just a loose term. But do you think those terms are loosely given?
I think they are. I think that the social structure of today is to just sit there and throw those out. I know, right? Just to throw them
structure.
out. It is like I get it. Like I fall into that category sometimes where like I say bae sometimes, but I'm also one of those people that like I say it more so in like a mocking manner. I don't necessarily take it too seriously unless I'm like, you know, Jon Snow's bae. 100%. I don't think any female can disagree, and if they do, then they just no.
Jon Snow?
Bye. Yes,
Peter
obviously.
Dinklage's bae.
You know what? I was talking to my boss about this the other day because she has not watched Game of Thrones. She's failing in millennial terms. But
Is she millennial?
she is,
Failure.
and I know, and I'm like, me and her get along
Failure.
really well. But we both have bipolar moms.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, I know the bonding between me and my new boss.
Similarities.
But we were talking about Peter Dinklage, and I was like, I don't think under normal circumstances I would have ever looked at Peter Dinklage before Game of Thrones and been like, yeah, he's hot. No. Now, because he is Tyrion Lannister, like, I now have a fixation with that character that, like, if he came up to me, like, you know what, let's go out. Yeah, I'll go in with you. Like, cool. Like, it's not a normal thing, but because Game of Thrones.
Would you date a small person? Is that the term?
I think the it's a little person. Is that what we say?
No, I don't know if that's.
Is that the correct? I don't know what the politically
See, we
correct
gotta be
term
PC
is
about
for
everything
things.
because we so
man.
sensitive. We so sensitive.
Oh, that's my gosh.
Would you date a Peter little Dinklage?
You know,
A
if it
Dinklebird?
was Peter Dinklage, I feel like I'd be down.
But not just him, but like.
I don't know. I think that I would give someone the time of day for sure. I think that like I'm a very open-minded person in the sense of like I would be willing to even give them my time. I think that overall you should just do that. It's like, you know, you could build a friendship or some type of like, you know, beneficial mutual relationship with that person. So I don't think you should just like nullify them because the fact that, you know, they're different. But
wouldn't you like
I don't
judge
know
a
if
book
I
by
would.
its cover first?
I don't know if I'd be attracted. I don't know.
Are you
It's
attracted to
questionable.
Peter Dinklage now?
I am, which is why there's even more questionable like thoughts about whether or not I would, you know, if it was someone else and not Peter Dinklage, would I feel that way? I don't know, but I
Isn't
now
his
know that
status
they
symbol
can be sexy. There's a difference.
Well, is it his character that's sexy, or is it the actor that's sexy?
I think both. One character, he's such a badass that like, you know what, for being the tiniest person and the least like, I don't know, aggressive character in a sense.
Is it a redemption story? Is that why you like him?
I do. I like underdogs.
He's
I
not.
do.
He's not defined by his past.
No.
Do you
and
relate
that's
to that?
Good. You know that I do. Hello, we mentioned bipolar mom, so clearly I relate to coming up and having to define yourself against what everyone would expect. So,
do you think, with your upbringing, do you think that maybe our generation is so diverse because of our families having? There's a working theory that. Or maybe it's a hypothesis, but there's this theory that we are the way we are, all of us, for better or for worse, because the baby boomers, our parents, completely fucked us up. because they were spoiled because of their parents, so they didn't go through the same struggles that we went through, and they had their own different stigmas of like men must be men, women must be barefoot and pregnant.
I think to some degree, yes. Like I could see how those things would have affected certain, like, I guess, ways of thinking for sure. Like I know for me, even though like I'm friends with, I'll literally be friends with anyone, I'm also very cutthroat about it, because the fact that like I don't feel like dealing with things, and if I disagree with somebody on something, I could disagree and be completely fine, and we can live our lives, and I don't have any opinion, they don't have any opinion, that's cool. There's like boundaries and respect. I think that's fine.
That's because you're Cuban.
Well, yes, but also because of my upbringing. Like, I look at
your Cuban upbringing.
Yes, to a degree. The Cuban is a yes, but also just in the dysfunctionality of like my life. I didn't get like the same things. You talk about baby boomers being spoiled and stuff. They don't necessarily teach their kids, the same type of like, you have to earn everything. Like a lot of kids now, and I think one of the biggest things that they say about millennials is we're entitled, right?
Yeah.
I do not, under any circumstance, feel entitled. I feel like I have literally worked my ass off to get everything I've gotten, and I still am nowhere near where I want to be, which is like the crazy part. So I think in a sense,
I think people feel like they say the word entitled because they have this thought process that we're emotional. And I think the misconception there is because I would say we are really good at articulating our thoughts today, and they're not.
Way more expressive,
so if something upsets me, I know how to describe how it upsets me, and most importantly, why it upsets me. And most people just be like, I don't like it. Why? it's just the way. When like I hear this like, do this. Why? When I ask why, when any of us, why? They say, because I said so. Whether it's parent or work, because that's how it is.
We're described as the little kids when you're like 2 and you go through the phase of like you don't understand anything, so you keep asking, why? Why is this blue? Why is this green? Like you don't understand, so you just keep asking. And that's the kind of mindset that like I think they put on millennials, is just you don't know anything. You haven't really had to learn anything. So when you sit here and you say, this is why, and they're like, you don't even understand what's coming out of your mouth. And I'm like, 2 degrees, some people I can agree with. Others, I wouldn't say that that's my case.
But here's my counter argument. We know how to use technology. Everything that drives today. I have so many, I don't know how to make this thing work. And like now, like, oh, your dinosaur's showing.
Yep.
And now they're gridlocked. And now I think we get picked on by other generations, older people, because they're insecure and they won't say it because they realize that they are not keeping up with today's times. And here we are thriving because it works for us.
But I think that's expected with time. Like everyone becomes eventually like technologically like incompetent to a degree. Like I'm 29 and I still struggle sometimes with figuring out programs and like certain things. I have a freaking iPhone 6s and I haven't upgraded, and my biggest thing that I'm struggling with is the fact that I don't want to not have the little button, like on the bottom.
The home button?
Yes.
You don't want it, you said?
No. I don't want to lose it. Like I have an attachment to the home button. To me, the functionality of it only makes sense, and having to now learn to function without that is like, oh man, this is going to be like ridiculous. Even though I know that once I do it, it'll only take me like a day or two, like to get it all like, in sync and just kind of like roll with it. I'm still over here like, no, that's so much. I don't know.
It's a good thing Apple still supports those phones.
I know.
If you don't want to upgrade. But here's the thing though, to your subject with your phone, and then I think I can take it to a grander scale.
Okay.
Change is inevitable.
Yes.
And we have to be susceptible to change. Our bodies change, our minds change, and I think one of our greatest strengths so far, and maybe because we're still young, so we're still absorbing things in our little absorbent brains and stuff like that, is that we have to be willing for change. We have to accept change for what it is, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't like change because like, I like it the way it used to be, but change is a natural part of evolution.
I like change. I feel like I'm the exact opposite. Like when people think about like getting up, packing up and moving and leaving somewhere, or having to like, they're changing jobs or anything, like I kind of like that nervous, overwhelming feeling to a degree. And I almost feel like it's more motivating for me to just like push myself harder. So I don't necessarily think like the fear of change. I think it's more so the fact that just on like a biological standpoint, as you get older, like your eyesight gets worse, your brain starts to lose its ability to recall certain things, and you know, based on whatever technicalities throughout life that, you know, impact this, it could be more progressive or not. So in that kind of sense, I get it, and I can excuse to some degree not being fully like there with technology.
Don't you think modern medicine would catch
improve
up in that time? Where like
you know
our
what?
eyesights are good. We're basically borderline androids now.
I feel
cyborgs.
I feel like technology, or like medicine specifically, having the technology that it has now should be way, way, way farther along than where it is right now. But I think that we're also in a, you know, society that, you know, is very greedy and needs money, and there's a lot of opportunity for like monetary value when it comes to, you know, medical supplies, hospitals, like any of that stuff. So maybe it's just me and you know, Illuminati controversy type stuff, but I definitely think that like we have cures for things, we just don't feed them to people because of the fact that like then we wouldn't be able to supply these, you know, millions and trillions of dollars in just like, you know, medical expenses, because then they wouldn't be able to sit in the hospital for months.
Now, if that was true, which I don't know if it's true or not, I can see the argument that could be true, that people can profit off of us for the rest of our lives. I think there's enough entrepreneurs today than ever before, and people who like to disrupt the system, so to say, that if that was really the case, somebody is going to find the cure outside of these big industries, the big pharmaceutical, and they would be able to use that resource or the medicine to help us.
Illuminati.
Where's your tinfoil hat?
Yeah, I know. I need it. Not that I'm deep into this stuff, because I really am not. But my boyfriend loves controversy, so thanks, Jordan. But the whole Nipsey thing that just happened where he got murdered. Come on. I know you've heard about this, right? Dude apparently knew and had like studied or followed up with like a doctor who discovered the cure for cancer, and he was going to release a documentary about it. And so then he got murdered. Like,
I didn't hear that part.
That's a whole story. Like,
that's the part.
Deep
that's the part
dive
I did not
into
hear.
the interwebs, please. But like that, it's just the fact that those are stories and things that you can, I guess, indulge in. I think that there's just too many unknowns to sit there and either lock in on one or, you know, decide that the other is not plausible. So I think more so than anything, I'm not like a deep dive on like conspiracy theory type person, but to a degree, I keep my mind open that I do think that to some degree there's truth and there's some validity.
So let me ask you this. How often do you use Google?
Oh, geez, not often enough.
Not often.
I literally function most days without touching my phone. I like the fact that my screen time is really low. I get my weekly.
Do you have your little feature on where it tells you?
Oh, yeah. And like, I'll know depending upon like what I've been doing at work that week. So it'll kind of fluctuate. So most weeks, if I'm not doing any, because I work in promotion, so I'm constantly on my phone. I usually do a lot of social media and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing, you know, events and I have a work heavy week with, you know, things that are coming up promotionally, then I'm on my phone a lot more, and then I usually average around like 4 hours. But if it's not, and I'm just usually doing like office work and stuff, I tend to be like an hour,
That's
hour
funny.
and a half.
No, like mine, and I
Daily.
know Jordan will agree that my YouTube time is just through the roof.
Stupid high.
YouTube's,
but he is too.
I know, but YouTube's my Google. But I asked about the Google thing because, like, when it comes to conspiracies and all that stuff, and people thinking
people get lost
whatever,
in there.
because we live in a time where everything that ever existed of knowledge in some type of
It's on the
database
internet.
is on Google. You just Google it,
Yeah.
right, and it's there. And I don't know if it's too much information for one brain to process or not, but I think it's very convenient. I'm glad that we have it, but then people go down these conspiracies because the
more-
cure of cancer. No, come on, the cure of cancer.
I don't know if
And
it's,
one rapper found the answer.
I don't think it's one. That's the thing, is I don't think that's necessarily the case. I do believe that there is, for some lack of a better term.
Do you like watching Alex Jones?
I don't watch Alex Jones. I don't know who that is.
I feel like this would be one of his conspiracies.
Okay, well, anyways, my point is that I think that the medical industry does hold back on like any type of medicine that could be either like a really good like stalling point in a disease or something that can hold off and like stop most side effects. I think that they try to hold off most things because the more a person needs, a medicine for heart attacks or medicine for high blood pressure or medicine for high cholesterol. Like,
do you think the world is naturally evil?
I think that, oh gosh, this is a long, you want to go here?
I want a short version, but do you think the world is
geez.
naturally evil?
I think
Do you think if somebody has to cure to save lives that they would purposely hold that back?
we are greedy and naturally, like, sorry, humanity, but we are way more selfish than we need to be. I don't think that we're
Why
as
not sell the answer
selfless.
to the highest bidder, and so one person can be greedy,
but that's the
and
mentality.
then the world has
right.
the cure.
But so exactly. So you're thinking like a businessman. You're thinking like how, capitalism.
No, actually, I'm thinking in the sense, no, capitalism would tell me to market off of it, but I'm thinking in the sense that, I think morals outweigh. I think we all have a innate moral ability. We know right from wrong, and we don't need to be taught that. And I think if there's ability to save lives, I think that would supersede over turning a profit. But, and I only say this for one reason. Not a single scientist in the whole world would find the cure and be like, I'm rich. It's like, it's a team of people. There's checks and balances involved that would make hold people accountable.
True, but how many times have you sat there and gone through and you've seen companies that had insider trading?
Well, one guy,
that one person who found out that everyone's tethered to this, but then went and deleted files or went through and covered up their tracks.
The medicine guy, he was known as the world's hated man. I forget his name. He bought the patent or he bought this medicine that could save. I gotta look it up, but he bought this guy, or he didn't buy this guy, but this guy bought this medicine thing, and it's bugging me. Everyone's probably gonna be yelling at me listening to this, but he
put it in the comments below, guys. Comments below.
Yeah, comments below. He completely upped it by 400%, charged it. What used to be dollars went to hundreds of dollars, and now he's in jail for something completely different. But he was the world's. I'm pulling it up right now. The world's
hated man.
Most hated man.
I don't know. There's a lot of hated people.
Martin, is that him? Wait.
Did you find it?
Yeah, Martin. This guy. This guy.
Martin. Oh.
Pharmaceutical guy.
Shkreli?
I don't know.
That's what I'm going to go with. If I'm saying it wrong.
He bought it. He's the most hated man in America. Yeah, so he bought the rights to this medicine, and then what used to be sold for, oh my goodness, what used to be sold for $13.50, he upraised it to $750 a pill, of over a 5,000% increase. But he had the cure, and he profited off of it.
But that's just like okay, but I get it. But if that's the case, if you're going to profit off of something, it should be affordable. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense to have a cure for something, but then make it unobtainable for people who don't. Like, you think about sickly people who can't, work and have regular jobs. They barely survive off of whatever they can get from, like, Social Security, or if they can get benefits, whatever, the government can provide. But, like, they can't afford that medicine. And then there's no generic version of it, so they can get it for a cheaper price. Mm-hmm. So therefore, they're not really necessarily providing the medicine or the cure or whatever, the answer to fix that problem to everybody. It's only to those who can afford it. And at that point, I don't think it really matters, because you're still denying somebody that. So it is selfish and inherently evil in my mind.
Hey, Ren.
Can you stop being such a brat?
Ren.
Sorry for my dog.
Ren. We're recording, love.
Renton Murray, come here.
There's a dog off screen and
Lay
off
down.
mic. She's acting up.
She's thinks that there's someone there.
You stay.
Lay down.
Ruining my show.
Ooh, she sassed you.
Do you love dogs?
I obsessively love dogs.
I love dogs too.
I love all animals, though. I think I'm one of those people that just can't not help a creature out, except for spiders. I literally say
that's not an animal.
Well,
that's not a dog.
It's a living creature. I said living creature, so that counts. But I'm just saying in the sense that I don't think that I like insects the same amount. But I also, every time it rains, I take the snails off of the floor and I move them over to like the grass where they're trying to go, because I don't want them to get stepped on. I just want them to have. They're gonna have a short life. They're probably gonna get eaten. So no, not at all. Brittany thinks I'm a hippie. I'm not a hippie. I think.
Why does Brittany think you're a hippie?
Because she seems to be under the impression that because I'm like openly loving, that like that means that I'm somewhere very yeah. And she thinks that like my
No, that's
my
anime.
boho thoughts of things.
Boho.
Yeah, like bohemian-esque style. I'm
talked
currently
about this.
wearing like nothing hippie looking, and most days I wear leggings, like my Vans, and like a t-shirt. I'm like, I don't even focus that hard on dressing. I think I probably beat myself up more that I don't have a better fashion sense, but I don't dress hippie.
What's your style? Black?
And gray leggings.
Muted colors?
A lot of dark and neutral. I don't do colorful stuff normally because I feel like a fish out of water. I don't know. It's weird.
Do you think color doesn't work on you? When we did that 90s night, we all looked pretty poppin'.
I did. I was in that neon yellow highlighter thing, and I felt cute, but at the same time, I think I'm overly critical, as most people are in general, but especially females. Like, we just kind of carry this weird baggage of like, I don't know if I necessarily can pull that off. She can, but I don't think I would look good. So because I think she looks immaculate in this, I somehow can't possibly pull it off, and therefore I shouldn't even attempt.
Let me ask you something.
It's like a weird thing. Weird female insecurity.
Insecurity. On the subject of insecurity. I don't think it's a female. I think it's a societal insecurity. Do you think social media has made us more insecure?
Oh, entirely. Like, how do you not go onto social media and see, and I think about, obviously, there's Instagram baddies. Hello. Like, that's a whole thing for females that, like, you have to compare and compete. And they make money off of literally taking pictures while they're in, like, the tiniest bikinis. And they have nothing to do all day except for work out, get a spray tan, and then sit there and take pictures that they then edit and make look like
Squarespace.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm saying. But I do think that it sucks for guys because now you guys have to look at these dudes that are like fitness models. Like, that's the new pro thing, is they're bodybuilders and fitness models that are men.
Hell no. I'm a dad bod all the way. Look at me. Do I look like I give a shit? I care about my hair. Actually, I don't, though. That's a lie. Brittany cares about
your hair.
I don't care about my hair.
I feel like that, but I understand. I think to a degree, though, I think...
I'm not going to say I'm not insecure. Everybody has insecurities.
Everybody carries these innate insecurities, and I think that's
for me, like, you've seen the transition too that happened even before that. Like, I was like fucking mad thin, and now I'm like mad not thin.
But you also looked like way too thin. Like, it was scary.
Yeah, you all say that.
It's because I'm not. I think
if you would have saw me pre-Marine Corps, everyone who knew me before Marine Corps times would have been like, oh yeah, no, it looked normal. I looked right then, and they look at me now like you're fat. But all you guys post-Marine Corps go, no, you look filled in and all that.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'm not saying that like you couldn't like get back to being like, a little bit buffer. Like, you would feel better, I think, in comparison, because you came from a lifestyle where you were constantly active. You had to, do certain things. I don't know that you could do now because over time you without using a muscle, you lose that ability.
What social media has made me insecure about, and it has nothing to do with me. It actually has made me insecure about women. Now, what I mean by that is that the same reason what you're describing, that you girls all see all these models and stuff and these unrealistic things.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that us as men, we see it too. And then when you start to see that so often, and they're like, oh, is that the norm? Knowing it's fake. And then we look at our significant others and we go, Like, I had to find a switch to go like, you know what? Movies, TV, Instagram, everything that's not I can touch and feel. It's not real.
Exactly.
But so many people have these unrealistic expectations. Yo, hold on. Pause. I have this weird, I've been working on this thought process. I think I'm going to make a video about this, but I want to pick your brain about this. This is real stuff.
I need to, go.
Okay. Yeah. People today.
Okay.
I don't know if it's in our generation. I think it's somewhere like later on in our like mid 90s.
Okay.
Going forward, definitely the Gen Y or Gen Zs, but definitely mid 90s millennials for sure, because I've seen it with my own two eyes and heard it with my own ears. Guys today, people today do not know how to talk to other people. Let me explain.
Oh, no, I agree.
Social cues. They are bad at reading the room. They can't read people. You know how we get some people on Twitter that like bug us and read the room?
Yeah, like we're not responding.
Or what? There's some people who just don't know social cues. And I think it's because of the technology and everything that's going on. Like, people have this certain thing, the same way people just like fucking kill yourself, fatty, or whatever. I get that so
hate
much.
those people.
I get that so much.
Like, you're not even like succeeding at doing anything. You're just a nuisance.
So my question to you is in regards to these people who don't know how to talk to other people. There's a type of detachment. Like, there's a social cue element missing.
There's no platonic element to it anymore. Like in a physical sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't meet people out in the world anymore. You meet them online. Like, that's
so true.
That is a terrifying thing to me. Like,
when's the last time you were like, hi, nice to meet you, and you can actually feel the person and be like, you're a like, human being.
I think it's so crazy that that's like a norm now, and the fact that people like somehow are offended if they go out on like a fucking Tinder date and then realize that the person doesn't look like their profile picture because it's a fucking picture. They don't look like that because they don't wear their makeup that way. They probably don't use the same 5 fucking filters on their face, and they sure as hell don't sit there and have that thin ass waist or big ass that you keep thinking about.
Before
like,
that, remember back in the 2000s,
Yep.
this is definitely a millennial thing. The MySpace overexposed top angle thing.
It was everything. Everything rotates in its own time and place. Just like, you know, every freaking decade comes back as popular like 20 years out. I get it. Like, it's a rotation. Nothing is original anymore or like
what's that
new.
thing? Postmodern? No. So on that subject, we see guys, the hipsters with the big ass beards and the thing that goes
the little curly mustache.
But like, they came full circle because what used to be like an actual trend, people were mocking it, but they took it so seriously by mocking it. They actually
now it's popular.
Now they're not mocking it anymore, and so they openly own looking weird.
I get lost in beard videos on YouTube.
Do you?
I do. Okay. So wait. So I'm a person that does not. Okay, you know I don't care about Reddit, like, and everybody talks about like all these things. I didn't care about YouTube. I used to literally get mad at Jordan regularly. I'm like, all you do is watch YouTube all day. You don't do anything else. I do in certain areas. I am a person who gets
YouTube
lost
is the future.
in random things. It's not like, it doesn't even make sense. I don't have
do you have
beard.
cable at home?
So my mom has cable. Shout out, Mom. I use hers to get all the like goes. So all the channels that I would normally watch on cable, because if I'm being honest, I don't give two shits
I'm talking about
TV.
like Channel 50's Cartoon Network, like that type of cable.
So I don't change the channel. Everything's an app. On my smart TV, I have an app, or my Fire Stick, I have an app.
Cable in over a decade. I don't know.
I don't know why it's even still a thing. I don't know, and I work in broadcast.
So that's why. So to my,
I have 2 television affiliates that I have to work for.
That's why I'm. It's okay. This your thoughts are your own. You don't represent the company that you work for. Disclaimer. Blah 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 blah.
But they don't know which ones it are.
That's what I'm saying. YouTube is the
it
future. Or Instagram. All these things that are like individualized, that's the future, not cable. And so you're not getting into YouTube.
That's the idea of having like Netflix, Hulu, and all this stuff. They're having this subscription base, and why it's so successful is the fact that people get to pick and choose. When you used to get cable,
YouTube's not a subscription base.
Well, no.
And you like it now.
I know, but to a degree it is. That's not true.
For ads.
YouTube Red. Like, but
that's ads.
Am I not that person now?
It's
that
free.
After years of having Netflix,
you're not that person. That's Jordan. Jordan paid for it.
True, but I also pay for Hulu without commercials. For what reason? Because I could just. I pay for Hulu for my family and Jordan's family, and literally I pay for the subscription that has it's like $4 more, something $5 more to have.
It's like
no
$12
commercials
or something.
Yeah. I pay for that over just paying like $7, $8 and just having commercials.
Yeah, but that's
I just don't want them anymore.
You're doing that because you're like, well, if I'm going to pay for it, then I'm going to get no ads. YouTube, you don't have to pay for it. But
you don't have to. Exactly. But I also taking that into consideration, I actually enjoy having the opportunity to not have, like, I watch videos that are like 30, 40, an hour long sometimes. You know, I'll even watch documentaries up on YouTube sometimes.
What's your favorite YouTube channels?
Oh, geez. There's, I love Glam and Gore, Mikey All the Way. I think that is the most fascinating channel that I've probably been addicted to for the last 3 years.
Okay.
Basically, it's just, I like transformative things. I like things that like are entertaining. I also like people on YouTube that feel genuine. Like and that's the thing. Again, they're on a screen. I don't know them. I don't have anything to tether myself to. And then I'm a person who likes the realness. That I like people that don't seem like they're, filtering themselves for anything. I like people that are not as concerned with losing. I do like vloggers. Like to a degree, I used to watch like Casey Neistat. Like that was entertaining for a while. I'm gonna mess it up every time I do this. I'm just saying Marcus Brownlee. Love. I don't like tech at all, but I could watch Marcus all day.
Marquez.
Sorry. See, I already wrote it. I told you I was gonna butcher it.
MKBHD.
I always mess it up.
He's great.
But I'm just saying in the sense that when he talks,
he's great.
It's just entertaining. Like he has this like,
because he's soothed.
Yeah, but it's like a weird like thing because you don't necessarily
what
think
is up,
that.
guys? MKBHD here.
He's just the same across.
He's monotone.
Yeah, but it's an enjoyable monotone. Like it's not a bad.
Don't
thing.
you watch Everything Apple Pro too? Or I know Jordan does.
No. I don't watch.
monotone.
So I don't watch tech stuff. I watch Taylosive now sometimes because of you, and like I do.
Shut out, Drew. If you're watching this or listening to this,
I know. Honestly, keep the duck sounds. That's like a huge.
That's not Taylosive.
Oh wait, that was.
Whoa!
Oh, front page. Sorry. Okay, I do
You're
watch
mixing
both.
up my clients, my friends.
Man, so sorry.
You're mixing up my friends.
Okay, I like Fupita.
That's John.
Okay.
That's John Prosser.
Okay. Front page check.
That's from Page Tech.
The duck sounds. I enjoy
Wait,
those.
can I say
Don't
really
get rid
quickly?
of
Hold on. I gotta say really quickly. The misconception for people outside of tech, that is so common. Brittany has done it. People at work have done that.
It's hard because I'm not a techie and I don't necessarily care about that.
Yeah.
When we go to get phones or we do anything that has to do, Jordan entirely, I give him like full control over it. Like it's terrible because I'm sure that he would want to spend an absurd amount of money that I wouldn't agree with normally because I'm way too frugal about this kind of stuff. But because of the fact that I if I'm being honest, I don't care and I don't want to know and I don't know any of it. So I just go, whatever.
So do you watch Front Page Tech because it's just entertaining?
I do. I like.
Well,
he's funny.
Yeah,
I do like his.
John has
charisma.
said on record, off record, he's talked about that. He knows people come for him.
Yeah.
They don't care what he talks about. He's
I
entertaining.
do like some of the stories. Like I like that one video where he went on and he talked about people reaching out for like advertising and wanting him to promote stuff.
Yes.
And like I liked
when he says like, you
know
don't tell
why?
me how I know
he
my audience.
was real. Yeah. He was he didn't care about the fact that people or other advertisers might look at him and be like, oh, you just come out here. That's a thing. Like they look at you and they're like, oh, are you going to be difficult to work with? Yeah. If you are, I don't need to waste my time. I don't think your following is enough for me to sit there and invest my time and money and my product into. I can go try and find someone else who might be a little bit easier and I could probably get them for around the same price that I would, organize this deal with you for. But I like the fact that, again, he was real. I like the fact that there's a filter, but there isn't. It's like I'm trying to be,
his filter is the
correct.
duck quack. Can I just say that he tried
to change it, and I was one of the people that literally commented under, I think, Jordan's account because I'm logged in. Yes, Jordan pays for the YouTube, so I'm on his YouTube. So whenever you see the Jordan complex, it's probably not him. It's actually me.
How many times have you commented on my videos then, and I thought it was Jordan or something?
I think a couple of times, and you went under and you commented. In fact, the whole shout out where I was like, I need another Jordan video, and it took you commented and you picked it up right away. You're like, is this Jordan trying to do it? And I was like, no, it's Heather. Like instantly you were like, oh, and I was like, I actually enjoyed that video. It's one of my favorite videos that you did. But
I like YouTube for that exact reason right there, for creators to engage with their community.
I do. I think
that's great.
I like the interaction. Same thing on Instagram that once an influencer or someone just gets a little bit too popular, then they stop and like even responding to anybody. I don't care if you don't respond to me, but if I see that you haven't commented to anyone or responded to anybody, because it shows up immediately. That's like the first thing. If it's a specific person underneath, you'll see comments and it'll give you like, if there's like 2,000 comments, you see them responding to somebody.
Yeah.
If I don't see that and I just see random people, I don't really want to give you the time of day. I don't want to follow you because now I know you don't even take the time out of your day to acknowledge these people, but they're making you money.
I make it a point to acknowledge everybody because I'm not too big to ever engage with anybody on I try to be better on Twitter and Instagram, but 100% on YouTube because like that's where I market my things. But people like John at Front Page Tech or Drew with Taylosive. I remember watching these guys when they were still growing, engaging with their people. But I want to make something to their defense. At a certain point, they stop engaging with their audience for two reasons. One,
negative,
is the negativity. There's a lot of spam. I remember seeing Drew with Taylosive Tech telling like fucking kill yourself, Ginger, you have your soul is bad, and he says all these things to make fun of his psoriasis and stuff like that.
That's
things that he's very much aware of.
Yeah.
But he we the thing is we have to own our insecurities first because it is what I've had people tell me it's like, you can't carry your own fucking weight. Like, people will, they're nasty people. One, so they'll stop. Two, it gets to a point when you get too big in the sense where it's like they can't have that intimate conversations because it blows up way too much, and they try. I see Marquez do it. I've seen, like, people with millions of subscribers, they'll engage with a few that they could as soon as they post a video or something on Twitter, but then like it blows up. There are times where my tweet would have got acknowledged by one of the bigger YouTubers, and just my notification would blow up because people are always liking and retweeting my tweet to them or something. Yeah. And that overwhelms me. And I'm like, that's what they deal with all the time.
I understand.
I had to turn off notifications on my phone because I couldn't keep up.
And to a degree, I understand that. So like I can give some type of like buffer, but I do think that to a degree, like when you go on and you do check, like, if you post something, you're going to get blown up. So even if it's
that's the hope. People want to blow up.
Well, I mean, like big influencers who already have like a substantial like following.
Yeah.
They have this already expectation that it's just going to start going notifications. Silence it. Go on regularly and just respond to a random person. Like, it doesn't even have to have, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can
their workaround is like Patreon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, if the diehards that are really there, like, I'll make time for them because those people go above and beyond to engage, like
Jordan
super chats
super chat just to get people to say a name that you hate so much.
That's not what the show's all about. Let's bring it back to the millennial mindset here. Got a question for you.
Okay.
Tell me what a millennial, like, what's the definition for you? And not the textbook definition. Like, what does it mean to you to be a millennial?
Conceptually, I mean, I think it just has I think the title millennial, that's the problem, is we're blocking, again, labeled that just blocking people in. I literally think it should only be the fact that a millennial just means a person born within this certain time frame. Just like when I think of baby boomers, I think of this like, I don't think of the stigmas that come with them.
We grew up with Nickelodeon and all that stuff. We grew up playing outside and being before a certain time. We had
things got sketched.
We had life before internet.
And I think that's a
everybody
beautiful
after
thing.
us don't know that feeling.
And I think that's almost, I
think we have this weird patience because we had life before. We remember life before internet. Yeah. We had to do we're the generation that
dial up
cartridge to turn on something. The person
rewinding warped VHS tapes.
VHS cassette. I mean, we have a weird, because then we
players.
went through that transition. So it's like I could say I appreciate the instant gratifications that we get now, but
I'll agree with that because I do 100% see a difference in how I respond to technology kind of stalling on me. I'm like, why is it doing that? And then I'm calm though. I'm not upset. And then
I have some people go, this fucking
it's just an immediate like rage. It's like rage quitting, but with technology, and you're just like bashing things. I'm like, give it a second. Like maybe it's overheated. Who knows? Give it a second to warm up. Yeah. It doesn't get fixed and it doesn't resolve itself in a day. Okay. Then take it somewhere and go get it fixed. Like, I get that to a degree. There's a lot more patience, I think, that we have in general because of the fact that we did go through those things. But I also think in some ways it's almost made us snobby. I 100% will agree to the fact that I look at these kids nowadays and I'm like, you don't understand any.
Are you the type of person that goes, only 90s kids know?
I don't even know. Okay, so you know my sister. Mm-hmm. I love her to death. Mm-hmm. But it's like a normal, my go-to for every kid coming out that's like freshly 18 or thinks that like, oh, I'm done with, high school. And they're just like, and they're like, I'm an adult. And I look at them and I'm like, you don't even know how to wipe your own ass. Like, we all know you've got shit stains in your underwear. Like, this is a thing.
Are you putting your sister on blast right now?
No, I just tell that to every kid. I told my sister this at 18. I gave her that speech. I gave my cousin who recently just turned 18 this speech. Like, it's just, I know that it gives me almost a sense of like I'm a douche. I'm snobby about it because the fact that like I think that I'm more, I guess, educated in like a broader spectrum than like these kids nowadays, because they only know the digital age. They only understand this little bubble that they've been living in, and I understand now why, my grandparents and stuff would sit there and be like, well, back in my day, we didn't do those things. We didn't have those things. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. So, I'm saying that now.
Back in my day, we had dial-up.
I still had to pull a phone with a little squiggly cord and get it like a landline, man. Like,
you poor thing, you. So
this is the life.
But do you think that maybe you are that way towards your family because you are the older representation?
Oh, 100%. I'm the oldest of
like
everybody. You know what? I take that concept and I definitely know that I'm way more maternal than I need to be. And that's just me in general. Like I mom everybody. I mom my coworkers. I mom my friends. I mom my siblings. I mom my mom. Like it's a thing. I think outside of that though, I still think that I feel the need to like nurture and teach and educate people. And I don't think it's necessarily in one specific thing. It just kind of depends on if they show an interest in something and I feel knowledgeable about it, then I take it like really deep and I just go in and just like overload. And it's like word vomit of information. And sometimes that's not what they're interested in.
Do you think you're snobby because the best decade was probably one that you were a part of? Which was the best decade?
I love the 90s. I do. I think amazing things in the 90s, but I love the 80s. Like, I don't know, maybe I like old things in general. I think the 80s looked like such a fun decade. It looked like, you just had a blast every day. Music was so much more like upbeat and like it wasn't. I love the 90s and I'm a exactly like Flock of Seagulls. You had Never Gonna Give You Up. Never Gonna Let You. What's his name? I can't think.
Come on, he's a troll.
I know.
Come on, you've been
Rickrolled. Okay, so Rick Roll.
That's
so
not
Rick
Astley.
There you go, Rick Ass. Whatever. Yeah, that thing. But
Rick Ass.
Okay, but
yes.
My point is, I think that there's a lot of things to appreciate. I don't think I carry any type of like.
My favorite decade was the 80s.
I do like the 80s. That's probably.
I wish I wasn't a millennial in that sense. I wish I was born in the 70s so I could have lived through the 80s.
Exactly. That's what I think about it. I want to be a teen in the 80s and be, in my 20s.
No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be a
the
teen.
90s.
I don't want to be a teen in my 80s because
really?
I think I would have gotten into like everyone got into drugs back then like that. I feel like that was just the thing.
To a degree, but drugs were really heavy in general. I came from a family of people with nothing but drug addiction.
Yeah, same.
And I did not. That was the opposite.
And they were in their 20s. No, they were in their early 20s.
They were 20s.
My dad was in his early. My dad was 26 when he had me, I think. So.
Jeez, your dad was old. Literally, just thinking about that. I think my dad was 21.
I'm gonna do the
22.
I think maybe. Okay, so I was born in 1990.
That sounds really bad if I'm saying your dad is old because he was 26.
Yeah, he was 26 when he had me. He was 25 when I was born.
I think now we expect those numbers. Does that make sense? Like people are waiting. Kids now are like, I don't need to do that right away. And back then it was like, it just happened normally. Like teenage pregnancy was a regular thing. Like I remember being in high school and like there was always like at least one or two girls that were pregnant every freaking semester.
How does it feel knowing that like you and I are part of a category in our demographics that don't have kids?
You know what? Feel? I take a lot of pride in the fact that I don't, because the fact being specifically not just, in my family being like, I'm like the oldest of most of my cousins except for like two, and like they've all had kids and they've had kids since they were like early 20s, if not at 20.
Yeah.
And, I don't have kids and I feel really good, but I took the time. I wanted to get my shit together like any normal, rational person does.
Do you got your shit together?
No, I still don't feel that way. But I also know biological clock's ticking. So like now it has to be more of a thing.
We never have our shit together. Everyone's just making it up. But more in a sense that like I didn't want to have kids while living at home with my family. I didn't want to have kids when I knew that I didn't have some type of like career goal or passion or something to kind of like guide me in a sense for monetary gain throughout life. Like I didn't want to just be completely, 3 sheets to the wind, not prepared for anything. Yeah.
I wanted to have some type of like footing before I did any of those things. And I think that.
So you're so noble about it. I'm gonna be real. The only reason why I didn't want kids is because I like having money.
And I get it. I do. I get
it. That's like honest truth.
I'm not gonna lie. I literally had this conversation the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, having kids is cool and all, but like, be realistic. I want to move to a whole nother state because living in California does not make sense having kids. Not because of the upbringing or anything. I loved California. I don't think there was anything that was necessarily wrong in my childhood because of the environment that I was in. So much like actual situational stuff, circumstantial stuff, not, living. And I don't have any qualms with it here. In fact, I think it would be great. I want my kids to have the same passion about the ocean that I do, and to feel like, almost a sense with they're one with nature, because that's the thing that brings them that. But I could never raise a kid here. Like, there's no way. We can barely scrape by and live. The cost of living to minimum wage is insane. We're like the second highest other than Hawaii. We're like right below Hawaii, which is a fucking tropical island. Like, I don't mind if I'm living on my own little oasis. I get it. Like, I'll pay more for that. I'm not living anywhere except for a state that doesn't provide me any extra benefits, and I'm just paying way too much for it.
Would you want to stay on the Pacific Coast, though, like Washington, Oregon, where it's cheaper?
I've thought about that, and there's certain things that like I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to, but seeing the options for much cheaper living and just the amount of things I could,
or
know
even,
what it is?
Baja California, Mexico.
Mexico's not a horrible thing. I think a lot of people think Mexico like, but
It's
not.
No,
like,
but
it's cheap.
we're biased because we're in San
surrounded
Diego.
and we're right at the border. Like growing up, we went across the border.
We're North Mexico.
Yeah, basically. It's true.
We're North Mexico.
I like that was a normal thing. Like you just
SoCal is Normex.
No, and just I think it's funny when people are like, "Oh, you don't have real Mexican food." I'm like, "Yeah, I do. Have you had TJ Tacos?" Like I go across the border just to get food, and then I know that there's like real ass Mexicans making it on this side too. Like I'm good.
Tia Maria's back there just doing that thing.
Shout outs. She influenced us all.
¿Qué quieres, mijo? I don't know, food. Pop, 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 pop. Boom.
You don't even know. ¿Tienes hambre? Te ves muy flaco. Like, you look too skinny. It's not good enough. But
eat.
Yeah. Eat. Oh, but see.
So that's the thing.
That's
like,
why most
maybe
Hispanic
Mexico.
people...
Would you consider Mexico? Oh, I guess my thought process is like if you like the ocean and the Pacific Coast.
And that's the thing is that being closer to the ocean 100% is ideal, but it's not a deal breaker because living in St. Louis for 4 years during college and just like experiencing a whole different way of life, I actually prefer that over here. And I will tell you why. I specifically enjoyed the fact that it felt, again, me being a person that needs platonic interaction. I don't like the need for internet to connect. I want to connect with people. I love the fact that it, like, even though it was a big city, it felt small town. It felt like people actually talk to you.
In California.
Oh, entirely. And that's another thing too. You go to places like, just smaller cities and stuff. Going to my mom to see her place in North Carolina, like she lives out in the boonies, and like it's so
boonies. Yeah,
like my mom has 3 acres of land, has a freaking 4-bedroom house with a full basement. Like it's a real home. She pays $600 for her mortgage. Like it blows my mind, and all I'm thinking is like I would, if you're talking about quantity and the ability to make a home and to build and have whatever you want, like who the hell doesn't want 3 acres of land? Do you know what I'm saying? Like you could do anything on that. And I'm only spending $600. I pay twice as much, if not more, for rent now for a 1-bedroom, tiny little, like under 1,000 square feet
it's
apartment.
Expensive here.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I think the thing for me though, going back, is just more so I want to be able to give, and that's the idea. We think about our situation stuff. I don't want my kids to go through anything like that. I don't want, the future that I bring up to have, I want them to have everything they need and to have the opportunity of everything they want with it being earned. And I want them to have things that, I had when I was a kid. I don't trust the whole, like, you playing outside with your friends, but I'd like them to have a backyard that's big enough where they can have, like a swing set and to have like a little tree house, and the concept of things that don't necessarily matter or have value anymore. I still want those for my kids. And I know that sounds, trivial to most people, but like, I wanted a treehouse as a kid. I want my kids to have a treehouse. I want them to have a place where they can go and hide out and, do their own little thing.
When I went up north a couple weeks ago, or Northern California, to go help Drew do his things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I spent a couple hours with his family. And I went to the house that he grew up in. And this is Northern California, so still California, which means the taxes are still California taxes. But they had like land. It was in the mountains, green. In his backyard, I saw in the far distance a little house high up. And I went, huh. Our friend Nick is also with us. And I'm like, we just start walking around, just enjoying the air. Go over there. And I go, that's a motherfucking like treehouse.
Yeah.
There's steps and stuff. I went up there and I went inside.
Is it not the coolest thing?
I want so bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he has a little zip liner thing that goes from tree.
I'm just like, let me have like a little like thing where you put a basket down with snacks, and I can go up and like, here, kids, here's your lunch.
We get cement and
I
homeless
don't want
people.
that. And that's another thing too is people like big city, but I don't like the lack of actual like grass and trees.
So I'm gonna acknowledge the silver spoon in my mouth in this. I was born in a lovely little place. I'm not born there, but I grew up in a lovely little place called IB, Imperial Beach. And Imperial Beach is this little, it was a little, kind of off the grid town that is labeled the most southwestern city in the continental United States. There's nothing western or southern that's still considered the U.S. After that, you are in Mexico. So I grew up there on the beach, playing at the beach, walking to the beach, everything beach life. And then on the distance, taking the strand that take us to our famous Coronado Island, you can see the skyline of downtown San Diego. And then I would, as a kid, want to go, like, I want to go to the big city and just play around. And then I got to do that as I got older in my teens and then early 20s. I just go play around over there.
Yeah.
And now, in my late 20s, and gotten to do all that, I've done it. I don't want that anymore. I don't want the silver spoon part I'm acknowledging is that like I got the beach living. Yeah. I got the big city life. Even when I was stationed in Virginia, I'd go up to New York City. I got to do all of that. What I want now, what satisfies me now, and I think it has to do with just the world that we live in as adults, young adults today. I think we're still considered young adults. Is that I want a nice house.
Exactly.
I want a nice foundation. Because 80% of my life is revolved around that and or going to other people's nice houses and stuff like that. I like the idea of like last night. We come over to your place and we're just chilling and stuff like that.
Playing heads up.
I like the idea of doing stuff like that at other nice little
because it's so much more.
It's home.
It's
homely.
organic.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel put together.
But on the flip side, which is weird, and I think this is just the world that we live in today, is that a lot of friends that I've made today, people I consider good friends, I've met them online doing the online work, whether it's the music or the other podcasts or
I'm not saying that like you can't have good relationships and stuff. I think it's all about the people.
For me, it only worked because I've not only did we make that investments to do work together, but then to actually meet each other in person.
And that's the thing.
You have to have that connection.
And that's why I don't necessarily like completely shoot down people who like find their soulmate online or anything like that. I think it's definitely an option.
Is that how you met Jordan?
No, I met Jordan completely, and I love the fact that I met Jordan the way I did. It was literally, I was on a date and with my boyfriend at the time, who I was with for 2 years, and I met him. He was my waiter. Okay, and then I kept running into him. Wait, I ran into him almost weekly.
Bus boy.
Shut up.
Me and my man wanted more drinks. Oh my goodness!
But no,
I didn't know the waiter part.
Yeah,
I knew about everything else.
He worked at a Thai restaurant, and I love Thai food, so we had gone to eat there.
Boy,
and you're so obnoxious.
Boy.
But the idea is that like he was my waiter twice, and one time was with my actual boyfriend at the time, and the other one was with like friends from like the college radio station and stuff. And then after that, it was just a platonic, constant meeting. Like I would run into him at random at like the general area. Like I said, small time feel for a big city, and so I like that.
Just
but
a
it's
small town girl living in a lonely man.
Okay, yes, I know we're too much. But no, I won't shoot people.
Sorry,
I won't.
You snorted.
I won't.
I'm not cutting that out.
Very unattractive. But no, it's like the one thing you put on your Tinder profile. I snort when I laugh. Show videos of it. God, he's so bad.
Let's watch that in slow-mo.
But no, I want you people down for finding someone. I think it's all about the connection that they make and then how they go into meeting and continuing. If you can meet somebody and that connection, that vibe that you have with them online just falls into place right afterwards, then I think that that's a very platonic kind of feel too. Like it may have started somewhere else, but it continues platonically. Like it continues organically. I think that that's a bigger, more important thing. I don't like the concept of where,
swipe right.
Yeah, I hate Tinder. I hate these apps that.
Have you ever used Tinder?
I have not. Oh, well, scratch. Okay, wait. So I did sign myself up for Tinder. I made 2 profiles, and it was purely to stalk my sister. I'm that sister. Don't judge me. Alexis, I love you.
Oh, now you're name dropping.
I know. She already knows. I told her.
I know, but they don't.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
it's cool. Anyways,
I've never used Tinder. I know exactly what it is. Obviously, the whole fucking world knows what. I've never used it. That's after my time. No, yeah, that's after my time.
I think it takes that whole concept of what we were talking about.
I don't understand
Instagram.
dick pics.
Oh, I don't.
Did you ever get dick pics?
I did. I'm a girl. I got dick pics so much. I don't even talk to anybody. Like in my Instagram now.
What's up, bitch?
Every once in a while, I have like it set up to where people have to get approved for me to get their messages and stuff. And I can't tell you how many times I have gone in and I've like looked and it's like pending messages and I'll click it and it's a fucking dick pic.
Is it okay? Now, question.
It makes no sense.
This
I
is
don't
a genuine
know them or
question.
talk to them.
Is the dick pic like flaccid, or is it like, is he putting on his best performance?
They are putting on their best performance. They're trying. They want you
is
to
that
feel.
The peacock?
I don't think 100%. If the idea is like, can I sway you with the size of my dick? I'm gonna let you in on a secret. I don't think any genitalia is actually attractive. I'm being honest. I'm not. I don't think that like looking at female junk or male junk, it's somehow like, yeah, that turns me on. Not at all. That's just not how I function. Maybe it's because I'm not I'm just superly hardcore like sexual person that way, and I think that means I get turned on by personality.
Do guys get like clam shots, clam clips? I don't know what they call them. Dick pics, clam clip.
Oh, if they're talking to a girl, I'm pretty sure they ask for them.
No. The same way that you uninvitedly got
I don't know. I don't know.
Do guys get open clam shots?
You're a guy. Do you get open clam shots?
This is all after my time.
No, but I mean, again, I'm not looking for this. It's just people send this shit to me randomly. Like, I get these I clearly have a boyfriend. It's listed in my bio.
I can't say
I have nothing but pictures of me and
Here's
him.
the thing, though. I think there's 2 fronts to this because I can't say I have because I'm not the best looking guy. So I don't expect. No, don't spit that out. I don't. That's how you go. I'm not the most attractive looking man, so I don't expect someone to go like, ooh, look at that guy.
You don't have to be.
Wait, hang on. So there's that front to it. That's like, if my profile picture was me with photoshopped abs, maybe, but I don't think so. Because then the second front is I don't think I would get that because I don't think girls' mindsets are the same as guys' mindsets. No, not at all. Guys is like, yo.
I'm not gonna lie.
If I send this same photo I kept from 3 years ago and just keep sending it, eventually someone's bound to buy it. A girl's not gonna be like, I don't know. I think there's a different, not stigma, but I think there's a different expectation when it comes to female.
Yeah.
Like, guys, it is my idea because I know it works for me. Guys like the tease. I don't want you to just give it up to me up front.
And that's the idea. Right. Well, and see, that's the thing is we're in a society of instant gratification where they don't need a tease. They want it now. So dick pics are supposedly like, if she bites, that means I'm getting fucked. Like, that's a real reality.
Like, hey, hi. If she responds hi, she wants the D.
Literally.
Okay, here's the conversation.
Real meme.
Guy, you.
Yeah.
Hi. Boom.
Nope. Literally my response.
But you responded.
No, but I don't
There's a new emoji that's coming out that's this one. And I think every girl's going to be using this one. When they get a dick pic, they're going to go, whoop. It's supposed to be the pinching.
Eggplant little fingers.
It's supposed to be the pinching one, they say.
But nah, it means little. Like, it means
every
little.
girl's going to go.
I think it's funny because I do see some people that do respond to that kind of stuff. If I'm being honest, 9 times out of 10, when I get any type of like message or anything from someone that's hitting on me, I might open and look at it to see what it is. Most of the time I delete them now because you can just go through and just like delete all before even opening any of them, or deny all, I think it is, or decline
Hey,
all.
sexy bae.
Yeah,
Hey, sexy mama.
I don't even give it the time of day, but when I do, because I've gotten like weird.
Do you like eggplants?
Oh, I'll show you this actually. On Facebook. People are still on Facebook.
That's how you know, like the older generation, they just now caught up to Facebook.
No, this is someone who's like our age, I think.
Oh no.
That did this. There's like my brain doesn't. I can't.
If you're not on Instagram, you're wrong.
Exactly. Like, but okay. Anyway,
Instagram is the default, and Twitter's amazing because you get to pick and choose. But anyway,
Instagram is the new everything. It's
hell
MySpace.
yeah, it is. I love Instagram.
I know.
That's my drug too.
I'm not that addicted, but yeah.
I will acknowledge it. What was up with Facebook?
The Facebook, I like literally, I had this guy who I'd never met, never talked to, anything. He literally looked at my bio, and I don't even have anything like on Facebook because I don't use it like that.
Right? Yeah.
Went on and wrote me a fucking love letter in a message, and I read this, and I was like, "Here's what happened." He was very genuine though, so I legitimately sat there and was like, "Oh, poor guy." Like, I felt so bad for him. And and
then he followed it up with a dick pic.
No, he didn't do anything. I literally never responded or anything. I left it in, because when you don't, again, privacy settings.
You be breaking hearts, Heather.
I did, like.
Wait, do you know this guy?
No, I don't. It's some random dude.
You be breaking hearts.
But literally, when I saw this is the difference of me just deleting them and me actually acknowledging, like, that message. It was so heartfelt that I had to show it to Jordan. I was like, this is so sweet. I feel so guilty. I can't even say no now. Like, I'm just going to ignore it because he won't see the read or seen because it's on my privacy setting that it doesn't allow it.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was like, he'll just never know. It'll always be in limbo. I'd rather him be in limbo than be like, yeah, bro, like, I have a boyfriend. Stop. Like, I don't want to be a dick.
Do you still have the message?
I do.
I got to see this.
I'm pretty sure it's still, like, somewhere in my... I don't know. I think there's, like, an area...
I'll show you how to pull it up.
I was like, I don't remember.
I had to deal with a lot.
It was so random, but I was like, that's so
How come I don't get those?
sweet.
You know what I get? I get stalkers, as you're aware. You know, we talked about this. I don't get
I've
love
had
notes.
stalkers. I've had stalkers, too. But yours was an online. Mine was an actual, like, physical stalker, so... Don't know
this
what happened
guy
there.
would come to my house if I was still when we were living in Mission Valley.
He knew?
He found my address. He found our address, Heather. That's why I got those things. I'm not going to say online or off camera. That's why I got those things. Because fuck that. That's compromising some weird shit, right?
How does someone find your address? Like, I don't even think you even tag where you're at when you go in. You don't check in places. I don't check in places.
No.
So I don't know
He just knew San
about
Diego.
the rest of you millennials who do this, but don't check into your location and where you're at. You're giving someone who could cause you harm or some type of like stalker the opportunity to
You've
find
made the jobs of PIs, private investigators, so much easier. Like, I want to be a PI now because the job is easy. Just find out where you checked in.
Yeah, like, it's so dumb that people do
apps
that
out there
though.
where you can punch in the person's name and or phone number and or birthday or whatever, and then there's a public record of us.
Yeah, I've
been
looked
verified.
that up. I have. There's like a bunch of different things. Have you ever Googled yourself just to see what pops up sometimes?
I want to say I'm
We're
not
nobodies,
narcissistic.
right? Like, literally nobodies. I'm online.
I've been Googled.
I'm on the first page when you Google. I'm like, how? And it's from
Incognito.
a college newspaper.
I'm gonna pull you up incognito mode. Describe it.
Okay, so
just-
it's just Heather Perez.
Okay.
And if you look me up, you can find me. I don't know. I haven't checked recently, but last time I was like, I think like the fourth, fifth thing listed. Like, it was there, and it was from like I think the link said like STLCC because it was for the community college that I was going to. But like, yeah, you can literally find me. And I was like, how? And there was a picture of my face. You knew the school that I went to. You knew the program I was in. I was like, this doesn't make sense that this is just readily available, but it's the internet. And everything's available. Like,
I typed in Heather Perez and this came up. I was like,
that's not Heather Perez. I'll let them think that is. Sure.
I'm not going to show it. That's why I turned it around. All these things are like top LinkedIn searches and stuff like that. Now, to be fair,
just upload my LinkedIn picture.
I pulled you up or I pulled up your name incognito on my thing. So that way there's no link to you besides your phone number and my phone. So I think maybe you came up on yours because you're linked to you, so it's easier. Because I'm sure I haven't done this before. I'm gonna Google myself. It's
just like a thing that like you never know when something's gonna change and alter, and then you just randomly pop up online.
Randy Vasquez with an S is an American actor.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to images real quickly. Let's see. Oh my God, Oh my god. Oh my god.
No, you're not.
I'm the first 2, 3. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. He's the first 2 and then the 5th photo.
Oh my god. And then,
Top.
There's me when I did that cover with Mitchell.
That's insane. That's insane.
Oh my god. That's weird.
Wow. Okay. So you're clearly more popular than I am. So congratulations. You should be getting all the clam shots.
No, but okay. First of all, that URL right there.
Yeah.
Radar is. I don't know what that is. I've never So my most prominent thing is I'm on YouTube.
Do you ever click on things and follow the links? Because
No.
people can steal your stuff. So that might be someone to have stolen your information and put it up online somewhere.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like with today's technology, we also have to deal with people creating profiles and your information. You talk about identity theft. They're literally doing it as social identity theft. It's like weird. Why does someone want to pretend they're me? For what reason? Like, it doesn't make sense.
This is.
You're freaked out? Yeah. Overwhelmed? Shocked?
This is weird. We're all out there. No wonder that stalker found me. I can't. Yeah, I don't get love note messages or anything like that. I get stalkers who. Oh my god. Ew.
Just clear your screen. It's okay.
I'm gonna
pretend it doesn't exist.
Woo!
Yep.
Okay, I think we should close this out. This has been a fun
You're like,
episode.
I'm done. I can't do this
I'm a
anymore.
little bit burnt out. That's weird. Let me. Hang on a second. I got to regroup here. Where can they find you, Heather?
Where can they find me?
Yeah, people want to.
I guess you can find me on Instagram at.
What are your social media platforms of choice?
I use Instagram predominantly. I do have a Twitter. Yeah. And I do have a Facebook. Again, I don't really use Facebook. It's more of like for family. And I literally use the Messenger to call my mom and video chat.
Guys, if you've made it to this part, if you are following me from, hey, Ren, I'm trying to do my outro.
Can you not be a jerk? Renton Marie, come here now.
Ooh.
Renton.
Ooh, you're in trouble. She used that word on you.
Before you get up off.
So, guys, if you are listening to this and you're coming from Twitter, if you're one of my buddies over in Twitter, do not go out of your way and find Heather on Facebook and add her. She's not going to add you.
No, I don't.
Don't add me on Facebook. I'm not going to add you.
It's not happening.
Instagram, my boundaries. Guys, I give you literally everything but Facebook, okay?
I don't know.
You get YouTube, okay? You get this now. You have me on Twitter and on Instagram, and Facebook's my boundary. Facebook is for family and stuff like that.
It's universal now, so it doesn't matter.
And I don't like Facebook. I hate Facebook.
It's honestly not user friendly anymore. So
I love Twitter and Instagram. I primarily use Twitter. And I use Instagram.
You're the reason why I actually tweet when I do now, because you made a whole thing. I don't know if you go, I'm pretty sure you can go far back enough in my actual Twitter feed that you would see where it all began.
Yeah.
I made a Twitter, but I just didn't use it because I didn't see a purpose to it. But then you were actually interactive way more on there, and I was like, okay, well, fine. I guess I can tweet. Sure.
There's a purpose. So. There's one thing I learned about social media is based off of what our there's a market for each one if you're using that tool correctly. Twitter's cool little updates or engaging with people. Like I use it to talk to the people who follow me now, which is weird to think like that. But I also use it to talk to people way above me.
It's way more user friendly for that purpose, though.
News breaks there first. Those are the updates. Yeah. I go to Twitter first. It's funny when
Trending
I saw
is there first,
on Facebook the other day when we saw the Star Wars trailer.
Yeah.
I saw that on Twitter way before anything else. Like. Memes start on Twitter or Reddit, but it will get pushed to Twitter first.
Twitter first, yeah.
Everything goes through Twitter first, so I like to go straight to the source. But okay, so you said Instagram. What's your handle?
So Instagram and Twitter, I am at Indie Heather, INDIE Heather, HEATHER.
Cool.
But yeah, if you guys want to stalk me, I pretty much don't post things very often. I interact and I like things more than I actually post, so I don't think I'd be that entertaining, but you're more than welcome to. I respond to everything.
There you go.
That's at least unless you're sending me dick pics. I don't like you.
Don't send her dick pics.
I swear to God, if someone sends me a dick pic, I will come back for you. I will find you. I'll hunt you down, and then
they will accept that challenge. Don't do that.
Chop it off.
They're gonna accept that. All right, guys. Well, follow the show. Oh, hang on a second. I am honestly spacing on our handle. You can follow the show on Twitter at _MM_show. Yes. _MM for Millennial Mindset _show. You can follow the handle Millennial Mindset on Twitter. I think on Facebook too. YouTube, just type in the Millennial Mindset. I think that's it.
Handles will be listed below.
Handles will be listed below, and they'll be on wherever you're listening to this on the podcast. It's in the description, and on YouTube, it's gonna be in the description below. And I think I've dragged out this outro long enough. It's been fun. Heather, send us off.
Thanks for listening, guys. That's the Millennial Mindset.
Wow, that was so unique.
Why?
Because it wasn't.
What? What was it?
And cut. That was not bad. That's not bad. And cut. Oh, I forgot to hit record. Ew. Don't spit on my floor.